Monica, Grayley, silence has fallen on this room, which means it's up to you to revive them. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much, Steph. We will start today with a note on climate change and what can be done. The President of the General Assembly is joining other UN officials and business leaders and civil society representatives in an open letter calling to set more ambitious climate targets in a collective effort to limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees centigrade. Ms. María Fernanda Espinosa signed the initiative, which is being released today by the UN Global Compact, the Science-Based Targets Initiative, and the We Mean Business Coalition. The last report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, outlines the need to keep the global temperature rise to 1.5 degree centigrades above pre-industrial levels. More than 20 leaders signed the letter, and the UN Special Envoy for the 2019 Climate Action Summit, Ambassador Luis Alfonso de Alba, said that the world needs a realistic plan by 2020 to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 45% over the next decade. More information on our website. And this afternoon, the PJ will speak at the closing of the session of the Conference on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. The meeting, which continued this morning, included a roundtable on inclusion of persons with disabilities in society through participation in cultural life, recreation, leisure, and sport. Member states will take part this afternoon in the interactive dialogue on implementation of the Convention with the UN system. Ms. Espinosa says that the world must use every opportunity to further disability-inclusive development and to promote leadership by persons with disabilities, particularly women, in political and public life, as they are the best advocates, not only for persons with disabilities, but for the wider social and economic transformations we need to deliver the 23rd Agenda. The PJ believes that it's time to increase our ambition and accelerate our plans to achieve the full inclusion of persons with disabilities for the benefit of the entire globe. And during a speech yesterday at the high-level meeting on women with disabilities in political and public leadership, the PJ appealed for universal ratification of the Convention of the Rights with Persons with Disabilities, and mentioned also that in February, she wrote to those states that remain outside the treaty, encouraging them to ratify or accede it. And finally, on her agenda, she started the day meeting the Special Rapporteur on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, Ms. Catalina de Vandas. Later, she had a separate bilateral meeting with the Ambassador of Bolivia, His Excellency Mr. Satya Laurenti. The PJ also granted 2 interviews this morning to NPR and NTN 24. This afternoon, she will meet the permanent representatives of Qatar and New Zealand on Beijing +25, and the ambassadors of Ghana and Canada on financing for development. This afternoon, as we know, she will speak at the closing of the meeting. And that's basically everything from us today. Mr. Abadi, how are you?
Thank you, Monica. Has a date been set for the President of the General Assembly to give a press conference in this room?
Not yet. We are planning it for the end of this month, but we are right now, and tomorrow we will actually announce an official trip for the PGA. And so we are working hard to establish that. But this is in our minds, and we took also your suggestion on board. She also would like to come and speak to all of you. It has been a while, yes. Okay, anything else? No? It's good. You look very productive this afternoon. Excellent. I see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. And tomorrow we'll have a travel announcement for you. Thanks.